Hi. Thank you so much, everyone. It is my great honor to introduce the Dragon Quest / Dragon Warrior series to AGDQ with the North American release of the game that started it all. Dragon Warrior has gone through a lot of crazy progression over the past 2 years. 2 years ago, I got a fairly optimized, crazy RNG run of 5 hours and 15 minutes, and I thought I was done with the game, and then 9 hours later, a runner named Crow posted a proof of concept video showing that it was possible to control the flow of RNG through the game. And what followed, I spent 2.5 weeks basically putting together a manipulation run, and what followed was, to my knowledge, the largest reduction of an optimal run in NES speedrunning history, so it was a pretty big deal. So if you're wondering how short could an RPG like this be with no glitches, no wrong warps, we're going to find out. Before I start, I just need to let you guys know a couple things. When you step from one tile to another, the RNG cycles forward one value, and it uses that value to determine whether or not you encounter an enemy on that square. Anytime you're standing still, the RNG cycles forward 60 frames per second, so it cycles on every frame. So if we're aiming for a very specific pocket of RNG, we don't have much time to do it. So let's jump into this. I'm going to introduce my couch crew in a bit. For now, I'm going to ask them to count us in. Take it away, guys. So here we are in the throne room. In order to set up a manipulation, we need to start from a known value of RNG, and the only way to do that is to save and reset. And when you continue your quest, the game is going to give us an RNG checksum that's based on the sum of basically all of your stats, your strength, your gold, your level, and even your name, which is why I had to choose the name ! For this run. And then from that point, we can proceed down a known path, as long as we map everything out in advance. It's pretty complicated, but I've got notes here. So we're going to save and reset. We're going to see what this looks like. So the first thing I have to do is clear this text box on a specific frame, because the king doesn't give us a prompt, but we got it there. I can tell by the way the guard moved. He went up and down. It turns out the RNG that governs random encounters in this game also governs the way that NPCs move in this game. So we can use their movement to track what's going on. Now we're going to start walking north here, and I'm going to stop on the first forest tile here. The reason I do this is because if we had walked onto the second forest tile, we would have encountered an enemy. So when we stop on that square, we're locked in place for 16 frames, and the RNG jumps forward 16 values, effectively allowing us to cycle past that encounter. So in the mapping process, we find the first square with an encounter, then we reset, we come back, and we stop on the square before, then we keep walking to our second encounter, and we make a note of where that is, and we keep repeating the process until we basically reach our destination anywhere on the world map. In this case, we're trying to build our experience. We need to get to level 7, so we're going to an area which has the most valuable enemies for experience in the game. And we're also going to manipulate our attacks so that we do excellent moves every time. Need to pause a little bit here to set up our metal slime, and then on the 6th command, we're going to attack and get our excellent move. So you're going to see command, 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 command. And there's our first metal slime. So we're already at level 5 in the first 3 minutes, which is pretty crazy. So I use an audio cue to determine where to clear the text box here. Now we don't know what frame we're on, so I route in a random enemy in between so that we can figure out exactly where we are for marathon safety. Very important that we act first against that enemy. And now we have to pause a little bit here as the RNG cycles forward to our second metal slime. Where is he? There he is. Now here I'm going to do an arrow manipulation. I'm just holding the up arrow and then attacking on the third flash. We get our second excellent move on our second metal slime. 2 more to go. Again, I'm going to use an audio cue to clear this text box. We're going to get either a Wraith Knight or a Knight. And another pause. Here I'm watching the animation of our sprite to determine how long I'm waiting. Here are 3 commands, command, command, command. And our third excellent move. We got really lucky RNG to encounter them so soon. Here we have to take a bit of a longer pause to find exactly what we're looking for. There's my audio cue. And again, we just walk back and forth in the zone. Here again, we'll get either a Wraith Knight or a Knight. No idea which one until I see it. We run away from the Wraith Knight, immediately start walking, and there's our 4th Metal Slime. 5 commands here. Command, 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 command. And our 4th excellent move. So we've arrived at level 7, where we learn the sleep spell. And again, we're going to Death Warp at this point to get back, and this is a predetermined Death Warp. We get a nice quick death from a Demon Knight. We're going to be sent back, we're going to save and reset and start a new RNG chain from a new checksum. So all the manipulations are going to be different, but the process is similar. Oh, so I pressed the D-pad a little bit too early there. We're aiming for a very specific frame. But the good news is we can just reset and try again. There we go. He's going to go left. And then down here, these ladies in my way are going to go up right, down up. And that's just a way of verifying that we are on the right frame. Our next step is to go east to Remulder, where we buy keys. We need 3 keys to beat the game, but we're going to get 5. The 2 extra are going to be for picking up the wings that are in a treasure chest in that town. And the wings are going to save us an 80-second walk home at the end of the game. The first time I did this route, I actually did the 80-second walk home. Never occurred to me to pick up the wings. So yeah, just being very careful where I stop here. A long pause here. And now when I go through the cave, I need to listen to audio cues. It's going to be a lot easier with these headphones. These are great. All right, we're clear and on our way to our Goldman. Now, a Goldman would make short work of us without the sleep spell, which is the first reason we need to be at level 7. So we're going to put him to sleep, and we're going to manipulate all of our hits for maximum damage, essentially, or near maximum. And again, the execution on these menu changes, you still have to be very careful. All right, 2 commands here for the last hurt. And this hurt is to manipulate him so that he gives us enough gold. On the frame where he's killed, it determines how much gold he gives. We get 196, which is just barely enough. We're going to have a random wolf here. We're going to run away. And we've made it into town. So I'm going to be buying 5 keys, then we'll pick up the wings, we'll do another Death Warp, save and reset. So now would be a good time for some donations.
Oh, don't you worry, we have plenty. So first, before I get into the donations, I would like to say the Metroid Suit Choice Bid War is going to close midway through this run. Currently, no suit is sitting at $3,800, where the suit is sitting at about $1,600. So if you really, really, really like that suit and really, really hate your wallet, now's your time to shine. Have $200 from Takwa. So excited to see Ness Cardinality running Dragon Warrior at a GDQ. Put this donation towards running the main event. Wait, that's not available? Maybe Superman can make it happen? $20 from Pikabuck says, using RNG manipulation to get my comment read. Command? Command? Command. have $10 from the one and only MotherBrain93. Greetings from Torian, first-time donor, second-time Friday Crade. Good luck on the run, McFly. Oh, and congrats on your new PB in Karnov. Feels rid, man.
All right, we're into the next section here. And I had the idea late last year to combine two different sections into one. It requires difficult manipulation to chain them together. After we defeat the Axe Knight to get Erdrick's armor, which is necessary to get through Sharlock without taking damage from barrier tiles, we're not going to know what frame we're on when we have two text boxes to clear. Every time we have a text box to clear, the game doesn't give us a prompt to make some sort of buffer to leave us on a known RNG value. So I'm going to encounter a random enemy, and we're not going to know which one it is until we see it. It'd be either a green dragon or a wizard. And we're going to use that to determine what frame we're on and set up a second manipulation chain out of Hawksness. Now this path turned out pretty nicely. There are only 4 stops on the way to town here. The last one is right here, and then there's just one more inside. It's very important for me to note in terms of the difficulty of this, if you make one mistake, if you pause in the wrong spot, the RNG just spirals out of control and there's no way to reset yourself. So here again, we put the Axe Knight to sleep. Without sleep, we would not be able to do anything to him at level 7 with no weapon. And we're going to use a combination of excellent moves and the hurt spell. I found another nice early excellent move here. Excellent moves do more damage than the hurt spell, but they're only worth using if they happen early. So I found 2 nice early ones there. So this part is kind of difficult, but I'm going to clear 2 text boxes and hopefully it works out all right. Looks good. So we pace back and forth here. I didn't have to pace back and forth at all. I found the wizard right away, and we're on our way to the token now. In this particular section, I follow my notes pretty closely because the path to the token is different based on the enemy I encounter. So I just want to make sure I don't get them mixed up. I've memorized a lot of this just through repetition. So I just want to make sure that I'm actually following the right memorized path, but it looks okay here. So we've made it all the way to Erdrick's token, which is on this square. And we'll do a little manipulation there to get our Death Warp enemy quicker. And that's the end of this section. Gonna take this opportunity to thank you. We're gonna do a little safety save here. The next section is unmanipulated. Manipulating the next section can save a little bit of time, but it's very, very complicated. We'll be doing that in the future, but for now, we're going to just do a safety save here, just in case anything goes wrong in Garen's Grave. We would just reset and come back. Gonna take this opportunity to introduce my couch crew. In the middle, we have Slurpee Ninja. Slurpee was there ever since I started racing this game on SRL. He was there for every race. We've got Sparkover on the left here, on my right. Sparkover just recently joined the Sub-6 Club for the no RNG manipulation category, which takes, as you know, a lot of dedication, not only in terms of execution, but also in terms of, sitting through an RPG that long. So props to Sparkover for that. And on my left, on the right, is Ouijie. Ouijie has been my most recent friendly competitor in this game. In April, I believe, as part of the 12-hour challenge, he picked up the game, and he not only made his own manipulation route from scratch, but he also put it together and took the world record in April, and it held for 5 months before I took it back in September. He also discovered arrow manipulations, which basically allow us to save about 5 minutes off of the route. So it was a major contribution, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm very glad Ouijie became an active runner of this game. So because the next section is unmanipulated, we're getting a lot of encounters on the way here, more than usual, but this is another great time to read donations for a while.
All right, we have $25 from Skillet. I cannot believe this insane Dragon Warrior manipulation. Young me spent hours trying not to let metal slimes run away, and you're just... Ugh! $150 from Altanius. Here was hoping we had a chance to win one of Nestcard's maps, but I'm glad to just donate to charity. Money goes to Runner's Choice. $30 from Lehexa. Hey, past DW record holder here. In the years since I've run this game, the record has been improved by more than a factor of 10, mostly thanks to Nest Cardinality. He's the premier runner of this series, and I'm glad to see him finally make it into a GDQ. This donation goes to Runner's Choice.
Thank you, Lexa.
$25 from Anonymous. So incredible to finally see a Dragon Warrior quest ran at GDQ. It's great to have my favorite video game series be associated with such a great event and cause. Let's excellent hit Cancer and send it fleeing like a metal slime. Good luck, Nestcard.
Thank you, thank you.
$100 from Nick Cellier. No idea if I pronounced that correctly. Happy to see Dragon Warrior make it into GDQ. Good luck, Nest Cardinality. Donation goes to Runner's Choice. $200 from Jam Crow. Hey, AGDQ. Been looking forward to this Dragon Warrior run all week. I lost my father to cancer last year, and he is the reason I love video games. I used to watch him play Dragon Warrior when I was younger and thought it was fitting to donate for him during this. Let's put this donation towards seeing Superman 64. Go, descendant of Erdrick, and destroy that RNG and cancer. $5 from Princess Gwaelin. Ness, help me, I have been kidnapped by a green dragon. Oh wait, I think I hear you coming down the corridor. Ness, help, I'm in here. Ness, please help. Wait, where are you going?
That was beautiful. So for those who don't know, we're not going to be saving the princess in this game. I think the developers just assumed that you would as a natural part of the progression, but it is possible to beat the game without saving the princess if you know where Erdrick's token is, which we do. So we don't end up saving her, and the king seems to be all right with him when we go back. So we're into the final section, which is by far the longest section. It's been a crazy adventure learning how to manipulate these sections together. Okay, I got a good frame there. So the NPCs downstairs are gonna go up, up, down, right, down, right. So we're good. So there are 5 phases to this section. We need to go get the Staff of Rain, get the Rainbow Drop, clear a staircase on the first floor of Sharlock, pick up Erdrick's sword, and then after all that, go and beat the Dragon Lord. Tying these sections together is pretty difficult in real time, but I've had a lot of practice with it, and I've gotten pretty comfortable with it in the marathon setting, so let's make it happen. Staff of Rain first. After I clear the text boxes picking up the Staff of Rain, again, I'm going to have to come outside and encounter a random enemy. We're looking for either a Scorpion or a Magidrake. Okay, those are perfect text box clears, so we should be fine when we get outside. There's our Scorpion. Little manipulation and a little adjustment here, and we're back on track. We're on our way to phase 2 to pick up the Rainbow Drop. Once again, we're going to have to go through that cave and pass the princess by as she hollers from her room. We're gonna stop here, still avoiding random encounters all over the place, and a little pause here. And once again, I'm using audio cues to bonk my way through the cave. Pause here, and continue on our way south. Now, once I get to the final castle, there probably won't be any more chances for donations. I'm going to have to use a lot of audio cues for about 2 minutes or so now's a good time for more donations.
All right, we have $150 from Digital Badger. The RNG manipulation is strong with this one. $20 from Anonymous. Nescard's meticulous nature makes watching his runs like Dragon Warrior amazing. $20 from J Dryad. Longtime donator, first-time viewer. Sure. This donation goes to Nest Cardinality's choice as long as it's Fisher-Price Firehouse Rescue.
Shoutouts to Firehouse Rescue.
Speaking of runner's choices, just a quick update here. Superman 64 is at 24,000 out of 30,000. Meanwhile, Sylvan Tale is less than $100 away from the English patch. $20 from Shy Ranger. This Final Fantasy game sure looks different. $20 from Ace Zero. Dost thou love Dragon Warrior? Yes, no, but thou must. I love this game and am really enjoying this great run, Nest Cardinality.
Right on. Thank you so much, guys. We're into the final castle. I can't look at the time, but we should be somewhere around the 21 minute mark. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to be in the dark for the next 2 minutes, so I'm going to have to rely on audio cues. I'm going to need silence, so please bear with me as we descend into darkness. Another manipulation here to control where we are. And here we go, guys. There's the first floor. Almost to the sword. All right, we're 2 steps away from the staircase. Perfect. On our way down to the Dragon Lord now. Once again, everything has to be perfect. All right, now we can see where we are. We don't need to rely on audio cues anymore. We can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. Thanks so much, guys. There was a 50-50 chance of being on either square when we encountered an enemy in the room with the sword. We got the one where we get to do the nice fancy little manipulation here to set up our final encounter. It goes a little something like this. All right, we're good. So the Dragon Lord, the process of mapping out this battle is very time-consuming. First of all, the reason we get the sword is so that we can do enough damage to actually do a significant amount in the first round. We could beat him without the sword, but we'd be doing 1 damage per attack, and so it would take probably about a half an hour to beat him that way. Definitely worth it to detour for the sword. And you'll notice we're doing 10 damage here every time, so it takes a while to find the right iterations where we do 10 damage, and also the Dragon Lord casts Stop Spell. We need him to cast Stop Spell every time so that we don't take damage, and he only casts Stop Spell 25% of the time. So it can take a while to find the right iterations where we get the desired results, but it's nothing compared to the second form of the Dragon Lord, which is coming up shortly. Here's our last hit on the first form. So first thing we need to do again is put him to sleep so that he doesn't do any damage to us. He would defeat us in 1 attack otherwise. All right, 3 commands here. Command, command, command. And again, we have to be very careful how we do these inputs. So every hurt spell has a 1 in 16 chance of hitting the Dragon Lord. And in addition to that 1 in 16 chance, it's worse than that because we needed to do the higher range of damage. And if that weren't enough, we also need the Dragon Lord to stay asleep. Every turn, he has a 1 in 3 chance of waking up. So if you put that all together, we have about a 1 in 96 chance of getting an iteration that we want, a desirable result. We need those high rolls because we only have so much magic. We need to hit him 12 times with our hurt spell. So we're going to use every single one and go down to the reserves of our magic. No commands here, just an arrow manipulation. I'm just holding the up arrow here. As long as I'm holding the D-pad in a direction that the arrow cannot move, the cursor, it's essentially locked in place for a predetermined multiple of frames, and that basically means we can control our motion out of it and keep our control of which frame we're on in terms of RNG. All right, 3 hits to go. 4 commands on this one. Command, 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 command. And just an arrow manipulation here. And finally, 2 commands to finish it off. Command, command. That should do it. We got him. So this is the moment where we use our wings to avoid that 80-second walk home, which I did on my first run, which is hilarious to think about now. Time ends on last input, which I'll give you a quick 3-second countdown for. It's kind of difficult to gauge where it is. 3, 2, 1, time.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for that absolutely incredible run. Anyone can just speedrun a game. You have someone here who has taken complete control of this game, moving through the dark, manipulating RNG. Absolutely incredible Nest Cardinality. Let's give it up.
Wow, thank you so much, everyone. First of all, I want to thank 3 specific people without whom the world record would not be as low as it is if it weren't for their contributions. Crow for making the proof of concept video. He doesn't even run Dragon Warrior. I don't know what made him look at this game, but he did, and it changed the face of the game forever. Karakarn, my first friendly rival. We exchanged the world record a couple times shortly after RNG manipulation was discovered. And of course, WeeGee, my most recent competitor. Between the 2 of us, you're going to see some fireworks in this game in the future. We're going to keep going with it. I have speedrun 55 NES games so far. This is by far my largest contribution to the NES speedrunning world. So from the bottom of my heart, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all so very much for watching.
Ladies and gentlemen,